guys, hope all you're fine. Welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is very important in piping industry. Those are engaged in as a piping inspector or piping foreman or piping fabricator. This subject is very important. Before you do the any socket joint fit up, it is very important to check the gap. Why is gap needed for socket joint fit up? So we need to discuss this one. As a technical, what is the advantages, what is the disadvantages, and why it is required the gap. So all these things we'll discuss. So don't skip this video. All the information is very important in this video. So please see full video from the beginning. So let's start. You see here, just here example here is there. This is the fitting. You see here how it is groove is there. This is the nominal bore. So you see here details of socket weld flange, how it looks like. This is the pipe, this is the flange. So we'll discuss now. So before we start the discussion, let's introduce myself. This is Ananta Gwyn. I am a mechanical engineer with 14-year experience in India and abroad. And I just make this video because of I share my knowledge to my colleagues and to all who are in of world. So this is my hobby, you can say. So those people still not subscribe my channel, you can like, you can share my channel and subscribe it so that you can get regular updates for this video. Just I'm giving this example how it's like, how it's share and how it's subscribe. And you can see this YouTube channel link. If you go here, this is my channel and you can directly go there and you can see lots of video is there in their playlist. Also the separate videos are there. So each videos are very helpful, so you can check this we do world channel link. It is very helpful for you people. So let's start. You see here, this is the pipe fitting, this is the socket weld flange fitting. So this is the socket weld pipe fitting, this is the flange fitting. So this is different things. So first we will discuss here for socket weld fittings what type of material we are used. So we categorize in three materials types. One is the carbon steel socket weld fitting, second is stainless steel socket weld fitting, and third is alloy steel socket weld fitting. So if you see the carbon steel socket weld fitting, this is the material generally we used ASTM A105. If you go stainless steel socket weld fitting, then definitely we use the ASTM A182, F304, F304L, F316 and F316L, F321. This is the general common we are used in industry. And last one is the alloy steel socket fitting that generally we use the material ASTM A182, F1, F9, F11 and F22. So these are the important material which are used in industry for socket weld fitting. So different types of materials are there. One is carbon steel, another is stainless steel, another is the alloy steel. So you understand here a socket weld, this is your flange, this is your pipe going is inside, you see here, and this is the gap. From here to here, this is the gap. This gap, it is actually 1.6 mm, that is called the expansion gap. This is called the expansion gap. You see, after that you have to check, you have to do welding here, the welder have to do the welding here. Then before we welding this one, we need to check the radiography that gap is proper or not. So these things are very important. In socket weld flange, the gap is there or not. You see how it looks like the pipe, the groove is there, and up to this the pipe will go inside, and you see here up to this the pipe will go inside, and this is the gap. This is the gap. This is the gap. You see here, this is the gap. So you understand up to pipe there will be up to pipe will be go there, then it will be go fillet weld. Before that, the radiograph will be there from here to here. The gap will be shown in this radiograph image. In this gap will be, it should be as per ASME B31.3. Then it is okay. Then we can proceed for welding. You understand now socket weld fitting the material. Now why is gap needed for socket weld? Why? You see, there is one part is pipe, another part is fitting. There is two attachment is there. So in the two attachment, why when the pipe inserted into a recessed area means hold area of fitting or valve or flange, the joint has benefit for choice. So the joint has benefit for choice. Why we need this joint? Because of the high leakage integrity. You can see in this fillet joint there is a high leakage integrity, means prevent leakage is very good, means there will not be any leakage in future. That's why called the high leakage integrity is there, and the great structural strength. Structural strength also there in case of the socket weld fitting. Pipe with small diameter have socket weld fitting. So always we do the pipe with small diameter have socket weld. In the higher diameter we no need to, because not no need, this is actually not require this higher. If you go the pipe with higher diameter means big diameter, then definitely we should process with the bar weld. Bar weld definitely we give the better strength of this joint. So socket weld only we are used for the small diameter of the pipe. This is one attachment, and two attachment is there, and two attachment it is two together with the socket weld. Means one is, if you see here, this is called the fitting. This is called the fitting, and this is called the pipe. This is called the pipe. The pipe will go in the recessed area. This is the recessed area. Okay, pipe will go in this area up to this, and this is the called expansion gap. See here, from here, this is called expansion gap. So this is the pipe inserted into recessed area. It may be one flange, it may be one valve, it may be one fitting. So this is the different types of requirement is there. So you understand the joint why benefit, because of the leakage integrity high and the great structural strength is there. So pipe with small diameter normally we use this socket weld. So the why you is gap needed for socket weld, you understand. You see here the fittings. This is your the groove is there from here to here. Up to there it goes up to there, and this is actual diameter is the nominal diameter in this. What is the pipe inside is there? Pipe diameter. This is the nominal diameter. So you understand, this is the nominal diameter, this is the groove, and pipe will go inserted up to this, and there should be gap, the expansion gap. Now advantages. What is the advantages for socket weld pipe fitting? Why we do the socket weld fitting? In which advantages are there? So first we need to know the socket weld pipe fitting can be used in place of threaded fitting. So whereas the threaded fittings are there, we can replace that socket weld in this threaded fitting. So threaded fitting, in the place of threaded fittings, we can use the socket weld pipe fitting. So the risk of leakage is much smaller. If you go in threaded fitting, definitely there could be leakage in future. But if you go the in place of threaded fitting, you go the weld pipe, socket weld, then definitely the risk of leakage is much smaller. Definitely there will not be any leakage in future. In threaded, if you not do incorrect in operation, incorrect procedure, then definitely there can be leakage in this threaded fittings. So this is one advantage. Second is the socket weld pipe need not bevel for weld preparation. So in this weld preparation, you don't need any bevel, end of the pipe need bevel, because you are not doing anything at the bevel area welding. You see here, this is the end of the pipe, so this area it's going inside. So how you do bevel and why it's a required bevel here? You are doing welding here in this area, so in this area it's not required bevel, so you can omit this bevel preparation for the socket weld pipe. Now the weld metal cannot be penetrate into the bore of the pipe. That weld metal also will not be penetrate the bore of the pipe. The bore of the pipe it will not go this weld metal. This is one advantage. Construction costs are lower than with butt welded joint due to the lack of proper fit up requirements. Because if you see the butt joint here, one butt joint is here. So in this case, you need here bevel. You need here bevel. In this here bevel. So you need this area bevel. So in this area bevel, then definitely the cost will be more in this case. Bevel preparation. But in this case there is no bevel. That's why construction cost lower than with the butt welded joint due to the lack of proper fit up requirement. In this fit up also requirement in this case, so manpower is there. So also manpower is not required too much for this socket weld fitting. So all these things elimination, you can tell the construction cost definitely it is lower than the butt welded joint. So you understand now the advantages for socket weld pipe fitting. First is the pipe fitting, because for the threaded fitting you can replace this one. Socket weld pipe need not for deep bevel for weld preparation. The weld metal cannot penetrate the bore of the pipe, and the construction costs are very lower. These are the four main advantages for the socket weld pipe fitting. Now we'll go for disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of socket weld pipe fitting? So you understand, socket weld pipe fitting are unacceptable for ultra high pressure in food industry. So in food industry, there is high pressure is required in ultra high pressure, that is called. So since they do not permit full penetration, and leave overlap. So in the socket weld fitting, what will happen? If it is ultra high pressure, they do not permit full penetration. So full penetration is not there, and leave overlaps and crevices that are very difficult to clean. So in this, you understand here. Just I will giving the I will do the explanation here now. You understand here. In this case, in this area the crevices are there, and this area cleaning is very difficult in food industry. If it is difficult in food industry, then you see here in ultra high pressure in food industry application, since they do not permit full penetration and leave overlap and crevices that are very difficult to clean, creating virtual leaks. So what will happen if it is clean and clean is not there in the overlaps and crevices? Then what will happen? The creating virtual leaks will be generated. So this is the one disadvantages. So we cannot do this socket weld for the food industry application. Second is the socket weld pipe fitting should be ensured an expansion gap 1/16 in, that is 1.6 mm between the pipe and soldier of the socket. So you understand, the pipe and the fittings, I already explained that gap should be 1/16 inch, 1.6 mm. So this is one disadvantages. We have to ensure properly that gap is maintained or not. So you have to do radiography, then only you can find out the gap is there, is how much gap is there before prior to welding. And the third is the expansion gap and the internal crevice left in socket weld system promote corrosion. So the internal gaps you see here, that 1.6 mm gap, what will happen in socket weld system promotes in the future it will be corrosion and make them less suitable for corrosive or radioactive applications. So in radioactive application also you cannot use this socket weld pipe. So this is less suitable because of the in this crevice, what will happen? Left in socket weld system promote corrosion. Corrosion will be generated there in the crevice, where solid buildup at the joint may cause operating and maintenance problems. So in the solid buildup at the joint means, you understand here. Now again I explain. You see here, if you continuously this area is not clean, then what will happen? This area will be solid buildup. Then solid buildup, you cannot remove that solid buildup. You cannot remove that solid buildup. So this will happen, this will problem in maintenance. Generally liquid bath weld in all pipe side with complete oil penetration to the inside of the piping. So if you go the radioactive application, definitely we need for bath weld. So you understand now disadvantages of socket weld pipe fitting. Now it's very important. The subject is socket weld gap and why. So you understand it's a thermal expansion. Means this is your fittings and this is your flange. So it's a thermal expansion, means this area will be expanded. How? When the fillet welding will be here, then the heat will be generated from here to here. So that expansion will be can go that side and also that side, upper side and lower side. So if the gap is not there, what will happen? If the gap is not there, then this edge will go to here, and after that what will happen? There will not be place to go this pipe after that. Then the crack will be generated in this welding. To understand the thermal expansion, if there is not any gap and if the pipe grows more than the socket weld fitting, this is the more than socket weld fitting the pipe goes, then the fillet weld may crack because of the below region. If the pipe was thinner than the socket weld fitting, means if it is thinner than the socket weld fitting, then pipe will become more warmer and than the fitting during welding. So if it is more warmer, definitely it will go expansion very quickly and it can lead to cracking here in fillet weld. So that's why we need the 1.6 mm gap in this socket weld joint. So you understand now why it's need the 1.6 mm gap in this socket weld fitting. So socket welding gap rings are used to eliminate cracks well by providing a space for the pipe to expand into as it becomes warmer in temperatures. So as I said, the same thing here. Now, at the time of service inspection, if we found in radiography image in socket weld fitting without a gap, so what will happen? If you see in service inspection, if we found in radiography image there is socket weld fitting but without a gap. So you do in service inspection, not in a fabrication. You do in service inspection because the service inspection means this line is in operation. So in this case, it was running continue in operation and no issue. So you see the history now. You should see the history, that is the pipe has any problem or not. If you see this pipe is in operation previously in few years and there is no issue, then we will not go any repair or to add the gap. So because it is unnecessary, it will given the bad quality. But if in the cyclic condition or operating pressure, if you see increased, because in cyclic condition and operating pressure increase, then definitely we need to discuss with pressure equipment engineer to solve it. So definitely cyclic condition and operating pressure is changed, means it is the contract has been changed or something, the pressure in the procedure has been changed, so there is an amendment. So definitely in that case we need to check with our engineer. The engineer will discuss, engineer will check all these things like load condition. So everything they will check. If they check and if you think that it is required to remove this pipe and need to repair, then definitely we need to repair that one. So to understand this meaning, and during the fabrication is not obligated to perform after welding to verify the gap. So there is not mentioned in ASME B31.3 anything after welding to verify the gap. See the interpretation. Interpretation is subject ASME B31.3 to 2014 edition. If you see 328 5.2 welding requirement, fillet and socket weld. What is the question? Just in accordance with ASME B31.3, it should be 2014 edition 2014 para 328.5.2 and figure 328.5.2.c. What is the minimum gap acceptable in a socket welded joint after welding? So this question is very doubt in so many people. So answer it is very easy. This should be 1 by 16-inch approximate gap shown in figure 320.5.2.c is before welding. Means these two 1 by 16 inch is required in for only for before welding, not after welding. So code does not provide a gap dimension after welding. So it is very important. There is not mentioned anything in ASME B31.3 that after welding you must need to do the check that gap. If client require in this procedure, then this is different. This is not as per code. If client require, definitely we need to do the radiography for in that case. But in code, it is not saying that you have to do the gap. Need to check that after welding. Gap only need to check the before welding. That should be 1 by 16 inch. So it is clear now the interpretation. So I hope the full video you understand very well, because this is very important for socket weld fitting. Why is gap needed? I think hope you understand. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe my channel to get the regular video. Thanks a lot. Take care.